first book I ever remember as a child was read to me, which was a series of fairy stories. And I don't know who they were by, whether Hans Andersen or Grimm, but they were all the fairy stories, like the dog with the eyes as big as a saucer. And when I grew too big for those, it was Winnie the Pooh, or the whole Winnie the Pooh lot, you know, House of Pooh Corner, everything by Winnie the Pooh. And then you grow a little bit older, and it became Rupert, all of the Rupert books, every Christmas. Christmas wasn't Christmas without a Rupert book. Growing up, I've yet got to do that. I've got to grow up yet, I don't know. I always wanted to be a cowboy. And I still want to be a cowboy. I'm getting a bit old for it because it's quite painful to get on a horse these days. So I was left with a choice between the church, becoming a vicar, or something else. So I had to go for something else. So the only thing I could do was draw. So I put that to good use, so I went to art school. I drew my first children's book as a sort of fun thing when I was in advertising. And I knew nothing in those days about a 2-book contract, and the first book I drew was accepted. So then I had to draw another one, and then like Topsy, it just growed. It didn't mean to be an illustrator, it just happened. When I was teaching art at Manchester, Michael Foreman was one of the artists I held up as, you know, kids try and be like him, because not only is his work visually attractive, it's also technically very, very good. I'm a great fan of Michael Foreman. And of course David. I think David McKee is the best storyteller currently alive. He's a wonderful storyteller. And so I love David's work, Michael's work. I think Ralph Steadman is an exceptional artist. Jeanne Willis and I have done a lot of books together. And Big Bad Bun sort of had, it hit me being my own sort of, not childhood, but whatever comes after, the sort of teenagehood. Hit me of that, because in those days I had a Harley Davidson, I used to wear leather. Whenever you draw, it seems to be impossible to keep yourself out of the drawings. And whatever thing you're working on, bits of yourself creep in, and you can't stop them doing that. So Big Bad Bun, this rebellious little rabbit who was frightened of telling his parents how he really performed at school, I was there. How did I come up with that little princess? It was my daughter, really, the second daughter, Alex, who, when she was sort of at that age, I don't know what it is, but that age where you just leave the potty and start to tackle the big loo that you might fall down and drown, you know, the great big one. It was her. I saw her on the loo. She was having problems. I asked her what her problems were, and we began to talk about the whole business of going to the lavatory. And I thought, there's a children's book here. I was sent to Andersen Press, where I met my friend and mentor and benefactor Klaus Pflüger of Andersen Press, and Klaus published Andersen Press's first book, and my first serious book was Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and he took it on, and so Andersen Press and I started at roughly the same time, and I've never been so happy.